Thank you so much.
Well, you are most welcome. And when filming started, what did you notice about Michael Landon, the director?
What did I notice? He was extremely focused, which is not unusual, but he was focused and polite. And his set ran very politely. It was there was such a level of respect across the board for cast and crew that was something that really stood out for me. I didn't know it at the time, but he did already have his cancer, and because between shots and things, he would hang upside down on a gravity board. And that was kind of the craze, and a lot of us had those inversion boards and whatever. But looking back later after discovering it, that he worked all the way through most of that, I believe that he was in pain even at that time.
I was not aware of that. I've actually not heard of that at that time. So that's very interesting to hear.
And I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm right with that, but I just remember that at the time, and it could have just been aches and pains of just being alive and on set. I don't know. He never let any discomfort or agitation show, which was good. He was very confident in the choices that he was making, even if as actors we weren't, because his shoot style was very different. Have you heard much about that?
I have heard some stories.
Oh, good. Okay. So,
but I would love to hear what you have to say.
So, I am migraine prone. It's just kind of a lot of creative people are, busy people. And I went to the set, and the very first day when we were shooting the one of the very first scenes in the show, where Victor French brings my character into his office and says, "Here's our young police officer who's going to go after them," and it's at the top of the show. And that was the first thing we shot, which we did a lot of it in order, which was weird. It just really messed with my brain because it was so opposite of how you do most shooting, right? Like, in order? It was pretty much in order. So when we were shooting that, we did the rehearsal, blocking, and then he said, "Lar, just come over here to the desk. We'll just cut all of that at the top." Well, the top had me saying lines at the door. And so I thought, okay. So we came in and we shot right at the desk, me and him. And then we were going into another part of the scene. He goes, "Oh, no, we've just cut all of that." And I remember going to the script supervisor and saying, "I don't understand what's happening, or is there something wrong?" Because it was very odd. And she goes, "Oh, no, that's just the way he shoots." And I later learned as the day went on, I did get a horrible migraine that day. I went home with a horrible migraine trying to figure out what was happening. And I learned that since he wrote and directed and edited, he only shot what he was actually going to edit. So he was editing in his mind's eye as we were shooting. So if he wasn't going to be on a piece of business at a doorway or walking across something, he didn't shoot it. And that's how the people got to go home on time. So there wasn't a lot of extra masters, extra over the shoulders, extra coverage, because he had the confidence to know what he was shooting was going to end up on the show, not on the floor. And that took hours and hours off of every scene. And hard to get used to.
I really appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, but it was great.
Yeah, great instincts.
He had incredible instincts, and I tell you, from an acting perspective, that show was a turning point for me as an actress, because I saw a different way of how it was being done, and it was working, and I so appreciated how he kept a lot of the crew and people he had worked with over the years. It just all felt, I know people say this, but it all felt very family-oriented, even on the set. Some shows are family shows, but the sets aren't family-oriented. So that made it a really moving experience for me. I've never forgotten it.